Welcome back, everybody. So let's remove the bookmark and continue our story. So, finally rejoined once again after your brief parting, Liberators. You are all together with Captain Julian as he stands there warning you not to touch anything, awaiting the arrival of King Terminus. Is there anything you'd like to say during your time you're waiting? You're not sure exactly how long, but Julian did say soon.
After making the comment about the map of Gleam, I'll say, the people of the Dust District fled to safety, just trying to slice the silence.
Oh, well that's good, right? I mean, right?
Yes, I believe so.
King, I thank you for staying so strong.
We have to save Fia. We have more to do.
That's right, and, she kind of looks around at the walls. Does it, how, you said it was like an arcane, does it look like there's wards or anything like that around?
Roll me an Arcana check.
Oh, a natural one. For a 3!
Can't really tell. If we're just for your natural or just being trained in Arcana, you can. There's definitely something mystical about this place, but you're not sure if it's warded or what it is. Very intricate stuff.
King, we're gonna be traveling for a while like this. If you need to talk, I've been in a place where I loved someone and they changed on me.
Thanks, I appreciate it. I'll, speak to you later.
Do you need a hug? Can I have a hug?
Of course.
Okay. It's been so much. Oh, it's been so much. And then we just...
I'm so glad we made it out all right, for the most part. You know what I mean? And I say that, like, softer to you, like, as I'm holding you.
Did you see the streets? So many people lost everything in the attack.
More will die if we don't act soon. We have to hurry and dispose of this so King Terminus can help Fia. You're so tactical. I'm still nervous, but I want to trust you and know that that we're really making the right choices together.
I think we are, and well, thanks for your faith, I guess. I want to do whatever it takes to save my homeland and save these people.
You're strong and smart, and I'm so happy to know you. And together, with all of our strength and skills, we'll do it. Especially now that we have even greater allies on our side. Sort of gesturing towards Julian. We can do what we set our minds to. We can do everything. And I give her a double, not like a double take, that's not the word I'm looking for, but I try and convey double meaning in that. We can save everything.
This guy? Duran says, gesturing towards Julian.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it was an impressive looking sword.
What kind of company do you think King Terminus keeps? He must be renowned and quite studious, as he's in the corner studying maps still, I guess, and not acknowledging us.
Yeah, I mean, are you standing near him? He's at one of the side tables studying scrolls. You're not sure if it's maps or what's on there.
How large is this room?
This large is very large. It's
Could be across the hall, type way?
Yeah.
More than 50 feet away?
Yeah, he's probably the width of this entirety can be surmised to be about 80 feet. So he's probably about 50 or so feet away.
So if we're just talking, he probably wouldn't hear us. Okay.
Right. Possibly a normal person could hear if they were listening, but he looks to be really into his work and hasn't acknowledged anything that you've been saying so far.
All right.
You can roll an insight check if you want to see if he's listening.
No, because in that moment I would have said, what kind of company do you think King Terminus keeps? Julian must be renowned and a formidable ally.
Makes sense. Duran says in Elven and shrugs.
I'll stand up and offer Minako a hand, or...
She'll take it.
And then I'll say, perhaps we should see what Julian knows while we wait for King Terminus. And I'll, sort of shout, but not, loudly. I'll be like, do you know his timeline? King Terminus?
Julian turns around and says, he's running late. Always late. No matter. He should be here shortly. Just don't touch anything and we'll be fine.
All right.
I give him a cold look
Okay.
when he says that.
He gives
King,
you
you
a look as well.
you missed something. She smiles at Cal and then eyes the gun.
What happened?
It appears that my father made quite a gun for King Terminus to use.
Sir Galilia?
Yes. He gave it the power, at least from what I saw, to heal allies whenever they were fired upon. It's
Fired upon.
and now after meeting the king, it actually he looks down at the table and cracks a smile thinking about his father. It makes a lot of sense. The king's quite the prankster, is he not?
Well, when you put it that way, I could see that being something that King Terminus laughs over.
Whenever I touched it, I felt Kalemvor, and I felt a divine arcane jolt pass through me and saw things, memories on the weapon.
Interesting. Well, you make your father proud wielding these weapons, and he must have been quite the artificer to create such relics and items like this. Incredible.
He was something.
I'm glad to see you're all right.
Cal, how are you feeling, by the way?
I feel drained. Sitting on the throne took a lot out of me, but I saw much. I saw down into the next layers. I started to realign the very ley lines that we stand on.
You mean the ones that Horatio talked about, the ones that run through the city and through the land?
I look over at Horatio and nod knowingly because he experienced the same thing I have.
He nods back in recognition.
They can be moved?
Not only that, but they're the very threads, I think, that keep the planes together. I think it has something to do with the void. But I basically traveled along the ley lines, and I saw what lies below. Quite far, actually. But because of it, and I try to flick my fingers a little bit, trying to activate my lay on hands if I was trying to get really close to my other hand, and nothing really happens.
Oh, well, wouldn't want you
I'm
to,
just-
to try to do that. You know, last time someone tried to do some innate magic after sitting on that thing, she gives Horatio a kind of worried look.
I think I just need a break. Some sleep, maybe.
It has been a taxing few, I don't know, hours, days, years, I don't know. It feels like we've
Centuries?
done so much and so little all at the same time. It's hard to put together.
I have to ask, Cal. What's what was it like? Eustacia, I mean.
Oh, that's a lot easier than anything you could have asked about the throne. It felt like home.
Felt like home. Huh.
When you gave me the ambrosia, that's the feeling I felt. Home.
It tasted good to you guys? Huh.
It was the best thing I have ever had. Was it not for you?
No. No, it was a little bitter, I guess.
Bitter. Why the goddess? That's...
So, Cal, you were the one who had it?
The fruit?
Yes.
Yes, I traveled to Eustacia, and Nyx gifted me with the fruit. After feeling my pocket when we returned all together, I knew that there was one piece for each of us.
You mean you don't have any more?
No.
Duran wants to roll insight.
You're on inside check.
Can I challenge it?
Well, are you lying?
No.
Duran rolls a 6.
6. I mean, Cal seems very sincere and honest. He hasn't lied. You know that he hasn't lied to you in the past, and although your feelings toward him may have shifted, at least you knowingly he is not a liar or someone who would hide things.
Shifted?
Shame.
What was that?
I'm exclaiming about his feelings shifting. Duran and I were very tight.
I would say, just with your passive insight, Cal, just knowing that Duran just asked you, was staring you down and not trusting you, puts you off a little bit.
Mhm.
Shame. We could have used more of that.
I don't know if it would have been appropriate to, but okay.
I had opportunities while there to eat more of the food, but it wasn't for me.
Mm.
I had more pressing matters like my friends.
So what else did you see? What happened?
Well, I was going to wait until King Terminus came, but I'll tell you all. I spoke with Nyx. I mentioned that before, but in the heat of the moment, did I mention that she was locked up in a cell, in prison? The past few hours have just been a blur. I can't remember what I said and what I may have left out. So, whenever the explosion happened, I was dancing with my vagary to try to move faster than the rate of the explosion. Time slowed down and I saw all of you leave. You all left. And I got to Judean, and I ripped him away from Duramo with the shard still in his possession. And I guess with my vagary activating at the same time that I was in contact with the shard, I must have activated my mortal key abilities and ripped a hole through time and space. I ran through the astral sea, and when I got to the end of where I was running, there's a door. Judean was frozen. He couldn't move. I don't think he's dead, but he wasn't alive either. I took the shard from his possession and put it in my bag of holding because I didn't want anyone else to know that I had it. I opened the door and it felt like I was home. The sun was shining. The breeze was sweet. And that's where I met the gatekeepers. There were two of them, I believe, if I can remember. They were fighting. And they took me to see Nyx because they thought that was the only god that would make sense to speak to for this kind of thing. They didn't expect the mortal key to ever return, and that it was a bad sign that I was there. Well, they led me to Nyx, and she was imprisoned in this cell, chained to the floor. We spoke. She said she could help, but I had to let her free. I then opened the prison cell, and we went to her daughters, the Fates. There, Fates told me about how everything is happening for a reason, and it was almost like I knew exactly where you all were and what you were doing. Then I opened the box. I felt Hades wash out, and it was like something had been released, something that I'm going to have to deal with, but I'll face that challenge when it happens. My first priority was to get back to all of you. After I spoke with Nyx one last time, she whispered into my ear that the throne would be my salvation.
So that's why you brought us back to the time where we split off and went to fight the group versus go to the throne?
Correct.
Well,
I see. It's starting to make sense now.
Cal, I have to thank you. I mean, you freed Our Lady Nyx from imprisonment.
I did. I have a feeling that everything with Gaia and the Aegis, it's all why she was locked away.
I gotta ask, what was she like? Like, was she like tall? I mean, I don't know. It's weird when you spend so much time in the Temple of Nyx, you just talk to all the people. You get the strangest conversations about these things, and I'd have to know.
She was roughly our size, Minako.
Did she have horns?
DM, did she have horns?
No, she didn't.
No, she did not have. She didn't have any horns.
Oh.
But Nyx worked with Asmodeus, and that's part of the reason that the Tieflings are blessed by Nyx.
And how much history about the tie between these things would we know, or at least would Minako know?
You would know nothing. This is all this knowledge is not in the history book. It was all you knew was, for whatever reason, during the combination of Nyx and Myliki to bless the world with the power to defeat the demons, something went awry. This whole thing with Asmodeus is all new to you.
She kind of gives Cal an appraising look, and just says, "So Asmodeus, huh? I always knew there was something. Well, whatever it happened, it's not worth locking her away out for eternity."
I didn't think so either. And I figured if the scale's been balanced this way for a millennia, maybe releasing her and shifting it back a little bit wouldn't be so bad.
Cal, who locked her away?
DM, did she tell me? Because I can't remember. I don't think she did tell me.
She did not.
And I
tell
think
you.
I asked
And-
too.
And that was a very shady subject. All she said was what she did tell you was that after her involvement with the war on Chaos between the Aegis and the Prolepsy, afterwards the victors or whomever locked her away for the part that she had to play. She didn't say what the part was, although you know that she did some type of combination with Osmodius and Myliki. But
even
does that sound like
she was part of the new gods, not the old gods.
correct?
So even the new gods turned against themselves and locked her away?
Maybe.
Not only that, but so as I was saying, because of what she had done with the war of Chaos, the Aegis locked her away, one of their own. But Nyx wouldn't tell me who locked her up exactly. She was actually very suspicious about that, and it almost made me want to think twice. But this was the only way I could get back here and have a second chance at setting things right and preventing that future that you all were a part of.
My goddess. I hope things become clearer in the future. This is a mess. They've made a mess.
Everybody roll me a perception check. I'll roll for Horatio.
That's a 12.
Duran got a 27.
Okay.
King got an 11.
Minako with an 18.
Okay, so Manako and Duran, you two see a peculiar-looking lizard creature crawling its way up the side of the table that your guys are sitting next to. And it seems like there's something small inside of it. Is that like a bug or a maggot? You're not sure inside of its claws, but it's crawling up there, getting closer and closer to you all.
Duran doesn't say anything, but he's going to like reach into his pack and grab, I think, does he have a dagger or a dart on him, and ready in action to attack if something jumps at him.
Okay.
Is it within 30 feet?
Yes.
Okay. So, is it a shape changer, a creature concealed by an illusion transmutation magic? Illusion or transmutation magic? Yeah, she can
You
just know.
can tell this? Oh, okay. Yes. It's definitely transmutation magic
Okay.
at work.
She can see their true form too.
Okay. You see coming after you, smiling with carrying a familiar figure in his hands, the true form of what looks to be King Terminus, just been in the corner listening, getting closer and closer. It looks like he has a little mischievous look on his eyes. As he's getting closer.
Minako kind of puts a hand up to stay Duran. Okay.
Duran doesn't make it like obvious that he's raiding anything. He's gonna like very carefully, like.
Hey, you guys are you going to do anything, or are you just
No,
ignoring?
I mean, she just smiles at King Terminus and will let him to get the surprise on everyone. He seems so happy about it. It would be wrong to you know, he's grinning and everything. Like, what good a horrible person would just spoil this guy's fun.
Maybe me. We'll see what happens.
Okay. So as you guys are chatting with one another, King Terminus Lizard, carrying a familiar figure in his hand, gets closer and closer. None of you notice except for Duran and Manako. At this point, there is a big poof of smoke and light that's right on top of the table, startling all of you as the table is jostled. Grabbing his sword, Julian turns around, goes, "Oh, what?" and looks over. Duran, something just jumped out at you. Are you going to continue to follow through with your attack?
Absolutely. Duran's gonna throw a semi-poisoned dart at whatever is inside the smoke.
Okay. Popping off from the... after the smoke fades and the dagger is released, roll me an attack.
Minako is definitely clapping loudly and laughing and cheering.
Oh yes, a critical Uno.
Okay. So you go ahead, and the rest of you see Duran just throw a dart. But even though he was ready for it, just the sheer size of the smoke and the magic that kind of unfurls startles you a bit, and you throw your dagger, missing. It flies all the way to the end, striking one of the maps in the back of the wall, and you all see as the entire table crashes down onto the ground as the sheer weight of King Terminus, carrying what looks to be a frightened, shaken Judean Sunfell, who's like, "Oh, King Terminus, what are you? Friends, surprise! It's just me!"
Oh, fantastic as always.
Oh my god.
Oh, King Terminus.
You seem to be a little, down on the dumps, so I decided to how do you say, raise the morale in the room with a little joke.
You got me.
You should be careful with that, unless you end up getting a surprise blade.
Easy, Duran.
It's fine, it's fine. Well, friends, I couldn't help but listen in. King Terminus set me down now. Oh, right. And you see King Terminus put down Judean Sunfell.
I was so worried that Judean also got killed. I had no idea how the story ended.
What? Where did you find him?
I was wandering through the castle in one of our teleportation rooms, and there, stuck inside, was Judean. I let him out, and well, you tell the story. Yes, the last thing I remember was the explosion in the Corpora Arcana. The Honor Doramo, the one who claimed to be Erebus, the progenitor of the Corpora Arcana, and forced me to pull out the power source, something that he called the Shard. It is what was causing the Corporus to hover above the earth. I did not even cast a spell like suggestion on me. Just this power, his words themselves seems to control me, and I was forced to remove the shard from its place, and then everything froze and went blank. Moments later, next thing I knew, I was down in the teleportation room inside of the Corporus. Inside of Thelos Castle. And then you found me, Terminus. What the fuck happened? He says, looking over at everybody.
We managed to stop the whole place from crashing.
The Corporus still floats.
That's right.
Yes.
Thank the gods.
No. Thank Cal.
Oh, excuse me.
He held that
He
aloft.
kind of has a confused look on his face. Excuse me?
He sat on the throne.
Surely you telling me this paladin sat on the throne.
I did.
Do I
King
jest?
Not.
Terminus. They're right. King Terminus is looking over towards Judean, who just looks shocked. I would believe that Horatio, Dularian Kane could sit upon the throne with his arcane prowess, but you? I'm shocked.
Well, I mean, Horatio also did, but...
I did in the future, but it didn't work out so great.
What the future? What?
Judean, all of this is your fault. King Terminus, if this fool would have just brought us to you as soon as we arrived in this city, all of this could have been probably prevented. All of it. Judean, I hold you responsible.
Hold me responsible? How dare you? You are talking to the the Archmagus of the Corporus Arcana of Duskhaven. You better watch your tongue.
You want to watch a tongue? How does it feel to have breathed the air of Eustacia and not remember it?
What?
Exactly. Be careful who you speak to, Judean Sunfell.
Well, intimidation check at advantage.
Back to good old Cal rolls, I see.
An 11.
God bless it, an 11, yeah. I am the worst.
You go ahead and
Still
say
beats a
that.
10.
Good, that's good. Beats a 10.
Judean still looks visibly shook after you say this, but he stands his ground after stepping back a little bit. Explain, Paladin, how in the blazes did I get to Eustacia?
I laid it out all in front of you, didn't I? From the moment we met, I told you, tell the king, Galilia's son is here. He needs to speak to you about very important things.
Right! And we overheard you. You grabbed him, then went to outspace to the astral to the astral sea. That's glorious, my friend. Such great power in you. He says, slapping your back, causing you to jostle a little bit.
I look over at Judean because at this point I feel that there is no hope in him leaving the room for the rest of the conversation.
Oh no, he looks like he's here to stay.
I'm just starting to discover the powers of the mortal key.
And Judean, when you say that, looks even more shook. If you're intimidating work before, it seems to have just wafted over him hearing that word. Did what?
I saved your life. I grabbed you instead of just taking the shard, and we went through the astral sea to Eustacia, where I spoke with Nyx. You were frozen.
You spoke with Nyx? Oh, the goddess. And he starts speaking he can speak primordial. He starts going off saying words in this weird earthy guttural language that King you recognize, and he's just making prayers to the gods in shock. This is not possible.
King Terminus, I saw how the ley lines were all out of whack. They were all misaligned. I started putting them in order. Maybe you, the true king of Thelos, will be able to continue that work. Although, I understand you do align yourself slightly chaotically with your jokes.
He says, laughing, slapping on his large stomach. But Cal, you are amazing, all of you who sat upon the throne. But the effects, one who is trained in the arcana, even me, has trouble operating the ley lines. But if you carved new pieces, connected different worlds, you may have done damage beyond your knowing.
Nyx gave us fruit, and the power of the ambrosia, it allowed me to become one with the ley lines, with everything. I saw you fighting the undead, and I helped push the righteous law on your side, repelling the chaotic undead away. Surely you felt the turn of the tide.
I thank you, my glorious friend.
Well, I would have never been able to sit there long enough if it wasn't for the rest of the people you see in this room. Duramo had more of his loyal minions mucking about, and as soon as you left the throne room, we had been attacked. After that attack, that's when we went to the Arcanum, and things that you heard about transpired. But since we had a second chance when I returned with the rest of my friends, we were able to get the jump on Deja Vu, one of Duramo's high-ranking lieutenants, I think. They were trying to do something to undo some of the protections in the throne room, and we're lucky we got there.
I'll tell you what they did. In the future that Duran and I went to, they sat upon the throne. He sat upon the throne and wove chaos through the land. He perverted the lines and drove them deeper and just ran amok.
Judean turns to you. You went to the future. You transcended space and time.
In that last moment, before the Corporus was exploding and broke, and when Cal activated his powers and then also touched Judean and the stone, it must have sent a shock through all of us, because I was only planning to jump out. I have the ability to teleport, decent distances, several hundred feet away with a dimension spell, and it took us farther into the future, apparently, and we saw what happened. Duran, do you want to tell them about the strike force and what happened?
Duran kind of just crosses his arms. No.
All right, then I will. We ran into Kai and also Sariel, a matron. I'll look at King Terminus and I'll say, you must know of Sariel.
Of course! She guards the elves living in the Dust District. And at this, Judean goes, excuse me? There are elves in the Dust District.
Mind your business. Anyway, we ran into her in the future, and there was a small, tiny glimmer of hope. And she said, we lost. Welcome to the Resistance. When we arrived, she took us to a place where just very few remained, and they had just one attempt to try and save any future that was salvageable at that point. We ran into Kai, and I'll look towards Minako and others, and he told us what the plan was. They were going to break into the nobles district, back into the castle, and sit upon the throne. I think Sariel, who was the strongest and most magically inclined, was going to sit upon it, while the others used anything they could, their powers, even laid down their lives to give her just a chance to undo what happened. But when Duran and I arrived, the glimmer of hope grew a little bit brighter, and I decided that I would sit on the throne, and I had the highest chance of affecting change. We rested and then set off, and we made it to the throne. Battle ensued, and I did sit upon the throne, and the goddess powers within me erupted, and I tried my best to make a change and affect the ley lines, but that is when Cal came from where he was and pulled us from that future. As hard as it is to believe, I speak the truth.
They both look very shocked, and Judean just has a mouth agape. Elves, and so you truly do have divine magic in you, the goddess.
I'll pull back my thing and expose my chest and scar. Still glowing, I assume.
They gasp. King Terminus walks closer towards it.
It pains
Closes
me every minute, every second of every day, but I will bear this. For you, for Duran, for my friends, for the future.
He closes his eyes, extending his hands out. Doesn't touch your scar, but kind of the energy around it. He opens up his eyes and everything goes blank, shining white light as he's just... You could just, being as a divine sorcerer, you can tell the divinity that's erupting from him, like the aura of divinity that he has as he just begins analyzing the magic coming from you. After about a moment, he releases it. His pupils come back again, and he looks down, putting his massive hands down, and he goes down on one knee. And like as he does so, like there's a audible like thud because he's such a huge person. Running across, shocked as well, is Julian, who still holds his hand, thinking that the king was attacked or something like that. So he kind of comes out there, sticking his hand out, getting ready to attack. And then Terminus says, "You truly carry the divine, not just an avatar. You are a prolepsy reborn. My friend, no. My god, goddess. My life's work is to serve those of Eustacia. And if it's your destiny to be reborn as something anew, I will do everything in my power for you to realize your potential." And after a moment, he stands up. But everyone else who's not, Julian and Judean, look shocked, seeing the king lower himself down there. It must suggest that he is, until he finally gets back up.
As he rises, I'll say thank you. I appreciate your words and kindness. And you are wise beyond my understanding, and I'm sure you have much to teach even me. And my will is that we save this land. That is our goal right now. Your people, Fia, Duskhaven, and the plains above and below. That is my will, to fix the problems and troubles of our parents.
Before night's end, I will pray. I don't serve one single god or goddess, Terminus says. Through whom all of the divine, their energies come through me. I can harness each aspect of the Aegis and the prolepsy. I will seek guidance from them to see how I can aid one of theirs to realize their divinity once again and become glorious. But we have to make plans. Come here, Julian. And Julian steps on over. Judean looks on over, just staring at you, King, just shocked and just trying to process everything that went on there. Can you please get the battle map so we can discuss our next plans? And at this point, Horatio goes, wait, there's one more thing. My King Terminus, we also ventured into the past. And he looks over at Monaco. We saw Igreal for what it was. Isn't that right, Monaco?
More than that, we met members of the Aegis before we transcended. And, well, we might have seen it, their transcendence as well.
Judean just he looks like his mind is about to explode from all this information, just WTFs that's happening right now. He kind of just turns, Jude, what, and then, wait, you saw the Trias themselves. I just cannot be. And Terminus looks on over towards him and just kind of just puts his hands up. Let them finish. And he gestures towards you, Monaco and Horatio.
Monaco gives a look over to Horatio.
Horatio turns. I think I told you before. I don't know how. And he looks on over at Judean and back at Terminus and the rest of you. Seeing that the cat's out of the bag, he goes, my mother somehow bears a great resemblance, or is Gaia? Yes, the Gaia. I met her, saw her before she turned to the Trias. My journey with her and Erebos and Eros, I kind of revealed everything. I knew that wasn't the smartest thing, but it was the only way to convince them. And they took us to some cave, I guess where the doorway to Eustacia was. King and I, we had a vision not too long ago, seeing them transcend, but then we were actually there, pointing towards Monaco. As they were trying to unlock the door, there was a weird cave drawing inscription, I don't know, of some creature. And in touching it, a blob of massive blob-like creature came and attacked. It would have crushed us all, but I tried to go into my Archon mode, and when he mentions Archon, Judean just goes, oh, no, like upset at him revealing this. And when I did, I just exploded with power. I think I destroyed the monster, but everyone else in the process, if it wasn't for Cal, I don't know what would have happened. He pulled us from there, bringing us back. But I think we saw them. And I don't know if I unlocked something, because more kept coming out, or what that was, but I don't know. Monaco, what do you think?
Whatever was there, that explosion, it changed everything. But the world we live in now is as a result of all that. It always had come to pass.
Judean just looking at over you. You messed with the time, and you caused but everything happened, and your mother and you went back, and you revealed an arcana of power, He passes out. The blood goes to his head, and he falls down to the ground. Terminus looks over as if he's about to cast something, decides not to, and lets him just fall into the ground hard. Just leave him there. It's processing a lot, as am I.
This is information only for the people in this room.
Of course.
Okay.
This is...
As long as we're all on the same page.
Not to worry. This room is arcanely and divinely blocked. Not even the gods, even though they speak through me, can reach through. Only I can reach them to draw their power. So no need for any outside sources hearing in. And Monaco, you would have noticed by now that because Eugen was still out and visible and with you, that his presence is gone. As soon as you entered here, his presence was gone.
She just has
like he was rejected.
Just a long sigh of relief.
After a moment of all this, and everyone just kind of and Eugen just on the ground. Eventually, Eugen and Judean on the ground. Eventually, Julian comes over and lays out a battle map and places it down, placing markers on it. And it looks like it's a map of Duskhaven, the same map that Hugh Baldwin used, but now full of detail, showing what's a castle, what's an entryway, and all other things inside of it. So, with everything you said still being extremely important, we have to look at the task at hand. Here, and he points towards Rainbow Ridge. The Rainbow Ridge Estate. It's only about a couple days away. Faster, we use arcane means. There we know that a lich has been raising the dead, creating these scourges to attack Velos. From your stories, I think it's possibly because of this Doramo or the god Erebus. I still don't know why, but in any case, if he was trying to get into my throne room, he must have been seeking to do something with the ley lines. Thank you, Cal, and Horatio, and King, for preventing that using your own ability to correct the ley lines. In any case, that lich will only grow stronger unless we destroy his phylactery, which he will keep close and safe. My captain, the Mage Slayer, Julian, is powerful and knows exactly where to look and how to find a hidden phylactery and defeat the undead. He will be taking a special sect of my army and heading there. Meanwhile, we will send forces to the borders of Shiveren. By now they would have put up some type of defense to know if we were to arcanely arrive. So we must be secret and tactical. But I want, and he's sliding pieces of figurines over to all the select areas. I want a small band or group to make their way into the heart of Shiveren. Leave these, and he takes out of his pocket orbs, and they're all different colors. Red, orange, yellow, and violet. Holding them out, and he says, if this is placed, we can open up portals to Shiveren, send the army through, and attack Frostmoor and Fia, destroying the Demon Dancer army. But we must do this simultaneously, both timers of the essence. Liberators, we may need you at both fronts. Would you be able to join and use your powers to once and for all defeat this lich and join Julian. Or do you want to take your boat and beach spell? I can cloak you with my powers and you can make your way back into Shiveren. Or both. The choice is yours.
Or both.
You can head to Rainbow Ridge, quickly take out the lich, and then quickly make your way to Beach Bell. And there, my friends, you can journey to Broken Bay or Fia, or somewhere in between.
Moving the army to the north won't do anything if they have this lich still here. I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Cal's been toying with one of his revolvers this entire time. Maybe one of the broken ones, trying to fit the pin back in the right spot, or note, whatever had kind of misfired before, kind of trying to fix it, fidgeting.
Okay.
To keep his mind busy while all this is going on. And he pops out the side, loads the chambers, slides it back in. A lich would feel pretty good to get rid of right now.
I think it makes the most tactical sense. The forces of Thelos can't march north, as Monako said. We should clear the path.
Then let's destroy it.
Horatio nods. Yeah, we should take out that lich. All of us, we can do it fast. Maybe I can teleport us to Beach Bell. It wouldn't take us days, but just mere moments to get there.
How many people can you teleport, Horatio?
King Terminus.
I could teleport 8. I could teleport 8 people.
Well,
So,
Including yourself, or 8 additional?
additional people, so 9 in total.
Horatio, before you use your power, King Terminus, you mentioned you found Judean in a teleportation room. From that room, can we get to Rainbow Ridge Estate?
My friends, I wouldn't suggest it. One, there is a teleportation circle there. I have access to many in my kingdom, but the place has been corrupted. To just go in there, who knows what we'll find? Could be a trap. We should scope it out, formulate a plan, and sneak in.
Will you accompany us? Or what are you doing?
I will be gathering the forces to hurry our people up to the edges of Shiveren. But you will have Julian, one of the strongest mate slayers I have in my army.
And you
looks
said-
over to Julian. Julian goes, yes, this lich. I will crush it between my boot. My sword will sear its flesh.
You said that they might have put up wards around Fia for teleportation?
Right.
Would it have been the whole city, or just the castle?
I don't know.
Well, if the wards are only limited to the castle, I did leave while I was there and find an old shrine to Myliki, and I consecrated it, and I can return there, and I could even bring an additional person other than my party members, so I could bring Julian with me, or you if you were to accompany us. Maybe it's something that we could use against them, because my connection is more with the divine. Maybe this gate would be obscured to them. I don't know.
King Terminus, it might be smart. A precision strike at Hiei, while your forces draw attention to the north.
He says, stroking his long beard.
We could quickly defeat the Lich. If you then rally your forces and then meet us in Rainbow Ridge, I could bring us to Fia.
Oh, Dungeon Master, from my fight in the future, when Kai and Duran were fighting with TA, what was my impression of how powerful he was at full power in his full armored form?
He seemed very powerful. It took, not only was Kai extremely powerful, definitely stronger than you are now, but the combined of two of you were in an epic battle, with no side giving way.
We would need some help fighting Hiei. If he's as powerful as he was in the future, it'd be a death sentence to charge him.
I don't know how powerful he was in the future, King Terminus goes on. Perhaps he's not as powerful as he was there. If he was sitting on my throne, he would have access to glorious power. But he is strong indeed. But I do have to warn you, although the castle may be warded from teleportation, they may have some means to know of unauthorized entry into all of Shiveren. So be wary.
Well, then it looks like we're going to Rainbow Ridge Estate first. We should get some.
All right then.
We should get some rest, though. We're all pretty tired.
I still have to gather my army. You can leave when you're ready. Following Julian, his forces will be at your disposal. And Julian looks over and says, "Excuse me? My apologies. You will all work together," he says, with a little smirk on his mouth. And you see, like, there's a little exchange between him and Julian. Not sure what to make of it, but Julian looks at all of you with disdain. You guys got off on the wrong foot, definitely. "My armies will need a couple days to gather before we head off. Hopefully by then you will have exterminated the Lich. It is on my honor, my king, with or without these Liberators. But since you speak so highly of them, I will accept the assistance." And he walks on over, begins to roll the map back up after collecting all the figurines. "Since we have our plan, I would like to leave as soon as possible. I can get my men ready tomorrow
Then it's done.
by noon. If you can be ready by tomorrow at noon, we'll head off.
Should be plenty of time.
We'll travel, each with our own horses, though since it's faster that way. Do you have a mode of transportation? Do I have to supply that as well?"
You should supply that as well.
"So be it." He rolls his eyes, continuing to clean up. "Let's get you all horses, the finest in Thelos. Sounds like we have a plan. Am I dismissed, my king? I want to get my men ready. They might have to pick up some slack." And he says, looking over at you all. Holding onto his blade, he lets it go, and continues walking towards the doorway. "Be well. Sorry, it's a little bit of a hard ass. Put a coal up there, get a diamond and all that." And Julian taps his sword, opens up the door, and leaves. Still with the battle maps and things, putting it inside of his bag before the door slams shut, leaving just you, a passed out Judean, and King Thelos in there.
Duran looks to them. "He has been a thorn in everything that's happened since we've come to this place."
And you're talking about Judean?
Yeah, and Duran says, pointing down at the unconscious Judean.
"Please forgive Judean, Sunfell. He's sort of like Julian there. They only have all of Duskhaven in the best interest in mind. And I know Judean could be a bit shifty, but his heart's always in the right place. He has ambitions, wanting to be the Grand Magus of all of the Corporis Arcana, and throughout their magic we were able to liberate Thelos so long ago, as it was overrun by the demons. If it wasn't for him, I would have never sat on the throne, corrected the ley lines, bringing peace to all the arcane capital. So,
Excuse my audacity, but who are you to speak to Cal in such a manner if you are a hypocrite? You called him out for fixing the ley lines, yet you just admitted to doing it yourself.
he looks on over to you, and his brow furrows a little bit. It's the first time someone who's not in this direct circle has talked to him that way, but then he remembers who you are, and he raises up his hand. "I only was worried. I have been trained in the arcane for longer than he has lived. Before I sat on the throne, I knew his father, and only through a combination of him, Camilla, and his parents," and he points over towards Horatio, "was I able to tame the ley lines. I merely meant he put himself at a great risk to losing himself." And when he says losing himself, he looks over at Duran, seeming to some recognition, but he doesn't say anything.
I will close my eyes and nod in understanding.
"It is a miracle that he was able to survive, and that you, with no offense, got off with what you did. Could have been worse."
King Terminus, did you know that my father had also been
"Been?
like me?
I'm not sure if I follow," he says.
The mortal key is a reflection of Kalemvor, and I've come to learn that I've been reincarnated
"I'm
many
aware
times.
of the life cycle of the mortal key. I was not aware of the charge that your father was set in protecting you. He was a man of many secrets, though of great power." He looks back, glancing over at the gun, and looking back at you.
I see him doing this, and I speak up. I saw the joy he gave you with that gun. How you'd fire upon your own men, restoring them back.
"But how? What?" And when he kind of has a look of confusion, and then a smile, a mischievous smile goes on his face with him recalling that. "How did he tell you?"
No, but I could feel the real joy when I touched that weapon. Oh, don't be mad at Julian. He almost cut my hands off for just touching it. But if I could honor my father by bearing those arms again in the face of this chaos and these undead, it would be a great honor.
He walks on over towards the weapons, grabs it, towards and you can see that it's a shotgun at this point. Monaco, you wouldn't really recognize it as a shotgun, but now looking at it, you could tell it's a shotgun. Like a one-handed shotgun, not a pump action, but you just like 2 shots, reload it. He carries it over. Roll me a charisma check.
The 13.
13, not bad. Yes, Galilius made this for me. It harnesses the power of the person who wields it. I am a healer, although I could do other things. When I harnessed it using the power of my healing magics, I was able to shoot a spray of healing power, much to the scare of my men. Here. And he goes over and hands it to you. I'm sure it was meant for you all along, Mortal Key. You probably can unlock secrets that I only dreamed of. Glorious secrets.
I look at the rest of my party. I have a few ideas. Thank you, my king.
Of course. He smiles.
I mean, not yet. Don't you have to marry her first? He's a citizen of Fia, you know.
I've spent enough time in
just
Thelos.
I'm just kidding. He'll be your king soon enough.
King Terminus smiles. Well, my friends, since the Dark Army has left, and thankfully the Light District, most of the districts remain untouched. Sure, where you are staying is still open. I will convene with Judean here to see what to do with the Corporis and find the people who managed to escape, if at all. And he walks on over and scoops up a passed out Judean Sunfell and begins to walk towards the door. Is there anything else you wish to ask or talk with the king as he makes his exit?
I have other questions, but they're not appropriate for the moment right now. Not for the atmosphere of what's happening. So
okay. So the king goes and walks towards the door. He goes to put his hand towards open the door, but he starts doing the unlocking motion and opening the door before he even reaches it. In doing so, for a brief moment, you feel all you tie with the Arcana. You feel like a small hiccup in the normal arcane energies you felt. And then as quickly as it appears, that little itch disappears again, and a portal opens up where he opens in the shape of a door, and he walks right through it with Judean before it closes back up. And then once again, the room feels as it felt before.
Can I roll an insight check to that?
Sure, go ahead.
was it because he opened a portal, the outside influence could escape in, and then the portal closed, and then it rejected it out?
Roll me an Arcana check.
That was a 6. I'm not gonna know anything about that.
Yeah, you don't know anything, unfortunately.
10?
10? You felt the magical energies around magical energies that are around this place that you've kind of felt passively die down, like a humming sound that stops, that's been buzzing in your ear, and you're used to it, and it goes silent. But it was so, as quick as it disappeared, it came right back, as if and then he just walked through. So that happened first, then the portal appeared, and then as it closed back up, he walked through. Though with a 10.
Does it feel shady?
You don't know. I mean, yeah, with your Arcana check, even though it's still intelligence check, you don't really know if it felt shady or not. Just looks like you just walked through a portal.
Got it. We know how to get out of this room, right?
Yeah. It seems like, I mean, you saw them open the door and all that. You saw,
we expect the door to open to a regular room, on the other side.
That is what you
right?
should be expecting. Yeah.
Okay. And then ascend a staircase and leave the castle.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does the door open as we go to leave? Does it open to a portal or?
Okay, so Monaco, you walk on over towards the door, seeing that they just left through this magical way. Opening up the doorway, the moment you touch it, you hear the click, 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 the sounds of locks unlocking, and the door opens up to the darkness.
She turns around with a smile. Well, time for some well-deserved rest.
Let us go. Luminosity. And I'll hold the light up so that way Horatio can see.
Thanks, King.
Of course.
So you all begin ascending the staircase. As you begin walking, Monaco, shadows seem to kind of Minaka, as you begin walking up the staircase in the middle, even though there's a bright light created by King, everything starts to get darker and darker, and until almost the light gives off, and your feet, although they're still walking up the staircase, you can feel it. It's almost autonomous. You don't really feel yourself controlling it, and I'll need everyone but Minako to hop into the void. All right, Minako, as you begin walking up the staircase, one step by step, you hear whispering in your ear, and all of a sudden, like a little burning sensation. It doesn't bother you at all, just you feel it on your wrist. My beloved, it's been so long. I thought you disappeared from me, and then you disappeared again. This is the third time. I'm worried.
Oh, you know these mages and their warded towers. But there is something that you should know.
Oh, what is it? And appearing in front of you is this familiar figure of the Burning Hand, and wearing the kind of suit-like tuxedo outfit, but with the skeleton-like hand that seems to be burning and singeing. Do tell, my beloved.
We have been at 2 places at once, and one of those places was the Igbreel of old.
Interesting. You've traveled back in time, my beloved.
When magic was potent.
Oh, I remember such a time. What have you learned?
My companion, the wizard,
Yes.
he is an archon of power. And when we went back there, when he attempted to activate it, he became the spark, the catalyst. Something about the location, the magic in the room. There was an explosion in a cave where the doorway once stood, and the ages all around us.
His eyes start to glow brightly, and he gets in front of you instantly. And you feel his hot breath breathing on you as he starts to circle you. You found the doorway to Eustacia, my beloved.
I did, though the lands have since shifted. But my companion, the paladin, he went there.
Yes.
He passed through the gates.
This is great news. You've done well. Listen, things are falling into place. I've come here with a warning. Minako, I need you to, as soon as you can, create the potion. Please do not dally any longer. I was angry at first, but hearing about Eustacia, I forgive you in your patience with the matter. I feel an eye has been set on me, an eye that I have not felt in quite some time. Something has changed in Eustacia, and now I'm being watched. I can't have Asmodeus knowing my plans, not when I'm so close to finding a vessel, to returning to what I once was. Minako, we're so close. I feel it.
Yes.
I will let you know something. Long ago, I wasn't always the form you know as the Burning Hand. I was something else. Never you mind what, but know that I struck a deal. A deal that would guarantee me powers beyond your wildest imagination. All I had to do was take down the King of the Nine Hells. Albeit, that did not work exactly as I had planned, though my mark has been set. As one has been received, he says, looking down at his hand, but looking back up at you. I fear that those who know of my plan have been released, or somehow, once again their gaze are able to look at me. Look at me down here in my bindings, and he stops when he says bindings and corrects himself, as in where I'm currently stationed here in the Nine Hells.
I will hurry and get the other components.
Please, once King's vessel has been rid of Myliki and the goddess is destroyed, he will still remain alive, but an open vessel for me, and I will travel through you. And in it I can place myself, though the transformation won't be complete. Now that I know where the doorway, or you will find out for me the doorway to Eustacia, I can then transcend and ascend. No more Aegis and prolepsy, only me and my followers. We'll be together again, my beloved. We will walk against the floors of Eustacia. We will rule. Divine and infernal power will be ours. Not even the abyss will stop us. brew the potion. Bring him to Eustasia's gateway. I will do the rest. Do my bidding, Monaco.
And chaos will be gone once and for all.
Nothing but law. The law of the burning hand will be in place. But be quick, Monaco. I cannot wait much longer. And with that, the darkness fades away. You start to feel the steps. And at this point, it doesn't seem like time has passed at all, and you're still walking up the staircase. Let everyone know they can return from the void. Welcome back from the void. So, you all continue walking up the staircase. For a moment, it seemed like Monaco was out of it, but she fixes herself and begins just walking up the staircase as normal, till eventually you guys reach the top. There's just a wall there, though.
Are we headed back to the mansion they gave us, or what? What's the plan?
I think it's the safest place to be.
Where do you suppose King Terminus went with Judean anyway?
Probably the Corpus Arcana.
I thought he went to the door.
And teleported away. He opened a gate, I thought. It looked familiar to the one that Horatio uses. Am I wrong? I'll, look towards Horatio.
Horatio looks on and says, it's possible. The king would probably have access, and it did look similar. Although I didn't look to see where he was going.
Horatio, could we just pop on over?
Sure. Did you want to just go from right here?
Oh, well, of course I'd meet everyone back up at the home soon enough. I have to check something.
Well, isn't the Corpus Arcana floating on the light district? So if we go with you, yeah, it'll be quicker to go with you, and then we could just fly down. If that's all right, Horatio.
Fine with me.
Yeah.
It's up to Monaco. She's the one who wants to go.
Let's do it.
All right, so I'll open it up right here. Everyone stand back a little bit. And he goes and hits his item, his brooch that he has. And in doing so, the doorway opens up as normal. And you all can pass on through.
And we do so.
We go. Yeah.
All right, so you all go one by one through the gateway. It closes shut on the other way. And it splits open once again on the outside. There, you're at the gateway to the entrance of the Corpus Arcana. Looking back, you see the rubble and the mess that is there. And with you looking down and seeing all of Thelos beneath you, miles beneath, readying yourselves to find or look or do whatever you're planning to do here at the Corpus, we will end tonight's session.
Oh, goodness.
My goodness.
Ooh!
Drama.
My goodness.
Quite the session, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks so much to everyone out there, all of our listeners. Thank you to our Patreons. We appreciate all the support you guys give us, the TTRPG community. We love you all. From the first chapter to the last page, take care of one another, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.